Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is Charles Moon, the Disciple of Trend. If you want to follow me on Twitter, you can follow that handle, Disciple of Trend. Also, make sure you follow our Prosper Trading Academy Twitter handle as well. Folks, if you happen to like this information, I'm going to get this out of the way. Like the video, guys. Subscribe to our channel. Glad to have everybody here today. How's it going? John, you're a little bit too early, but we will do the wheel thingamajigger. I believe our normal media guy is not available today, so we do have a stand-in. The great Danny Greenberg, if anybody's ever called in, he is the director of our help desk. I am standing in for the great Scott Bauer. Scott, if you're listening, drive safe. Can't wait to hang out in, I guess, my new hometown in Colorado. Folks, today, choppy action, pretty aggressive pullback at the open. It's not too surprising. It was anticipated after the NFP numbers. The NFP numbers, wow, came in way above expectations, got this pre-market action really frothy. And, I feel like if we didn't have that significant jump, the trading action today would be a lot better, probably a lot more volatile as well. But, after that big jump, people kind of just took risk off and called it an early weekend. But the NFP numbers almost surprised me in a sense. Obviously, if things weren't as good, it would, kind of motivate the Fed to push towards another 50 basis point cut. Now I'm not sure what the Fed wants to do. I would suspect that we have at the very least, 2 25 basis point cuts coming. But, the dot plot is actually suggesting that we may see a lot more than that. So we'll have to see what is in store. John, Leaf, Guillermo, always glad to have you, folks. Other news, the port strike. That as quickly as the strike started, it has ended. So the beneficiary of that today are the retail names. The retail names are quite strong. Names like Lulu is an outlier. Abercrombie and Fitch, which has been a pretty strong performer for the most part this year, starting to perk up and wake up as well. And I wonder, those viral videos of people that were carting out tons of paper towels and toilet paper. I wonder how they feel. It's possible that maybe Costco saw a little boost in sales there. Costco has been fairly weak here over the last month, especially since earnings. Maybe that could be the catalyst to get you a little bit of a lift. But it'll be interesting to see if this is just a one-off for retail names or we're going to see this upside momentum continue. I think that this market environment, if we have retail, energy, semiconductors, et cetera, all rallying up together, could be in a really good position for this broad market rally, which everybody's kind of looking for. So we'll see if we're going to get into this risk-on mode. Currently, folks, the market is up 183 points in the Dow, 147 in the NASDAQ, 30 in the S&P. Russell, by far leading the way, also up 30. The VIX dropping below to the 20 threshold, bumping on 19s, down $1.42, nearly 7%. VIX futures down 4%. Gold as well, a little risk off. Remember, gold has been a flight to safety, so with the markets putting risk on here, we see some profit taking in gold assets. But Bitcoin, folks, Bitcoin, a little shaky here as of late. Well, they're starting to swell up and taking this little run here going into the weekend. So would absolutely 100% love to have any kind of questions you may have for me to be able to answer them directly. I will pull up my desktop here in a second, but what are the reverberations, ramifications going forward here in the near term? Well, what happens today, I wouldn't necessarily think this is going to be anything that's going to have a carryover effect. For example, the retail rally. It could be just a little bit of short-term trading. One of the things that we have to be very cautious on is that a lot of people are just starting to kind of look into energy stocks as a play after this week. And what you have to be very cautious is that these stocks start flaming out a bit. But I'll tell you right now, XOM here, I'll pull up my desktop. XOM, a very big breakout play, very powerful move so far. And, let me drag this in here. And that's just kind of a byproduct of how stocks behave when they breach resistance. You can see that they have been able to carry it through here, this 122 price. And they get into this space where it's just unobstruction from a technical standpoint. It's just open rain. And, they've been extending on gains all day here. What up, Jake? Airbnb, we're almost there. You might have had a tighter limit, but listen, no matter what, I'm happy for you. It's a good finish to the week. If we could get TSM to kind of cooperate, that would help us a lot. But it's nice to hear that you took some profits in Airbnb. I really love that trade. That was a really good one. That was very similar to the TSM, which obviously yesterday TSM was very, very strong, especially relative to the other semiconductor names. Today, not so much. They're down, 67 cents. Boo! Boo! Well, we'll see how they finish. I guess I can't boo them just yet, but it would be nice to see a nice little lift off here to finish off the week. But yeah, getting into these energy names, we have to understand the scale of price movement in the short term, and just how realistically will it be that this movement is going to sustain. And this is where I have to kind of throw some caution into the wind, folks. There's nothing wrong with buying at peak value, certainly, but I would always encourage you to look for some sort of pullback, have some sort of reference. You can see XOM has been bouncing pretty nicely here off of these moving averages. Some stuff like that. At least have a rhyme and reason and a little bit of context and structure. We don't want to just buy because we believe momentum in stocks going to go up, because as soon as that momentum, flames out, what are you left? You're left holding at peak value. It starts getting, down aggressively from profit taking. You're not sure what to do. So you may either panic sell at a loss, and probably a bigger loss than you would expect. Or what could even be worse is that you hold strong, and unfortunately maybe the news of conflict fizzles out, they broker some sort of peace deal or something, and then all of a sudden these energy stocks go back to where they come from, and you're in a very disadvantageous position. So, when we buy peak value, we have to really understand the risk that's involved, be prepared for losses over wins, and in turn, be very disciplined to cut the bait when we need to. We could always buy back in, and we could always buy back in, at a more favorable price. You love it at 125. Well, shouldn't you love it when it's at 120? Shouldn't you love it more when it's at 120? And that's certainly a really, really important concept and context that we have to stick to here as traders. So what do I think about FedEx? I saw FedEx was pretty weak earlier. Let's take a look. Yeah, so, it's really evident how weak they are, because they came down to fill the gap. They rallied, but they rallied straight to a reference point, which is the 100-day simple moving average. And since then, they've been working down. And this is a major important threshold. This teal blue line is the 200-day moving average, simple moving average on the daily chart. And you can see that it was a moment of suppression here. And when they got above it, it led to a really nice explosive run on earnings. Well, obviously, earnings is the catalyst as to why they're down. And since they failed to hold at this critical pricing level, well, they're in what's known as technical weakness, and looks like it's reverting back to this level, or potentially all the way back down towards right around 240. So the depth of demand in the stock has been very short-lived. Maybe the bounce was propelled by short covering and short-term traders looking for a quick rebound and value play. But, it's going to be very critical as it approaches the recent swing low here at 253.50. We got to see some demand at that price, not lower. If it comes in lower, it's more likely that it's going to continue to work towards 240. So not looking healthy by any means. And the Dow hasn't helped much. The Dow's been, kind of flippy floppy, a little weak here. Financials continue to kind of weigh on the Dow in the near term. So certainly, in my opinion, there's no real reference point for now. So I would like kind of revert back to that 253 half range and see if we could get a little bit of demand at that point. That would be a good focal point or focused level to keep a close eye on. Now, I do want to point out Lulu. Lulu was at a very, very important price level yesterday, which was the 50 simple moving average. You could see that they actually held that level and they jumped up. Now they're off of their highs by quite a bit, about $4, $3 off of their highs. But that being said, it's the cause and effect idea here that's really important. It held that 50-day moving average. It was something that I actually pointed out in the stream yesterday. And look at that big bounce. So for those that were recognizing that key technical support, it became a low risk, high reward scenario. And, again, the basis of technicals is really important because they're reference points for market participants. And, kind of keying in on where buying and selling can get very dynamic, such as the lows of yesterday, which so happened to coincide with the 50 SMA. Well, that was right around that, 256, 257 price, and we traded up to 274. And I'm pretty sure if you ask anybody, would you be happy with a 15 to 18 point winner in 24 hours? Who's going to say no? So for me, this is why the importance of technical analysis plays such a significant role. Listen, I'm not a fundamentalist. I'm certainly not an analyst. I am 100% a technician in that sense. I like indicators. I like reference points. I like the price action at these indicators. I certainly watch the news, and I certainly understand how news can affect stocks. And certainly significant news will always trump technicals in that sense. But there's always going to be a point of reference, especially if things are being driven up and down by news. In those instances, I probably look more towards the extremes and extreme thresholds and reference those levels because it's very likely to be testing those levels as opposed to just keying in on very intermediate term or short term indicators. So, it's a pretty strong, finish to the week. The week has been pretty hectic to say the least, and that's a pretty important and dramatic instance that that we're finishing strong. The markets have been looking for a reason to go up. Maybe we could find some with the NFP numbers. Certainly next week is going to be very, very important in terms of progression. I do want to point out before I start getting all the names and get ready, folks. All you got to do is type in 2 letters. But you can see that the NASDAQ continues to remain afloat above the 20 SMA here. So they continue to show a lot of strength and demand. And on the hourly chart, there's been a lot of suppression at the 200 EMA. And today they've been utilizing that as support. So what we are seeing effectively right now is previous resistance, short-term acting as support, which is always a really good sign, at least for the bulls. Now, guys and gals, let's have a little fun. Do me a favor. If you want to be, if you want your name included in the drawing for some swag today, you know what to do. Type in the 2 letters M-N-E. Me. I'll give everybody a few minutes to go ahead and do that. Gene, Karen, Jake. Yeah, please feel free, guys and gals. Just type in me. And if you've already typed in me, do me a favor, type it in again. Makes it easier. Todd. Oh, what's up, Tom? I don't know who PR is, but hello, PR. Robert. Deb. Oh, Mark C. What's up, man? My man out of Vegas. Let's see, Mark Diggs. John Pro V Leaf. All right. Cook Restaurants. I love these YouTube names. A little strength in AMD today. They're making new intraday highs. Meta's trying to do the same right now. So it looks like the markets are sparking up a little bit higher. Slow grinding rally, not a surprise this late in the afternoon or this late in the trading session. What's up, Ali? How's it going? Kenny, glad to have you here. Deck, you want me to cover deck or are you trying to type in deck? I'm just going to assume you were trying to type in deck, but I'll type in deck too. Deck looks great. Guess what? Very similar to what we have seen in a lot of the energy stocks here as of late. You can see that this is a pretty critical resistance point. Not once, not twice, but thrice a resistance zone. So now it's starting to make this push. Upside potential somewhere in the range around 172. Could be a little bit of a slowdown point here. I don't want to discount that level significantly by any means. That high is centered at around 167.39. So through that 167, 172s, perhaps even a stronger push up into the upper 170s. Looks like there's certainly some potential. What up, JB? Hello. How's it going? Gus, thank you very much. Yeah, so definitely breaking out. Let's look at the volume today. Volume is light, so it's not really indicating that a quote-unquote short squeeze is happening, but it certainly looks like sellers are not stepping in the way of buyers, and buyer demand is continuing to drive it up, up, and away. Today, Kenny, or just in general? I don't, it's hard to say. Like, the volume is pretty soft, but I'll say this: if the market actually makes a pretty big move, let's say we push to highs or make new highs, I do believe that they'll at least test 250. I don't know if they'll be able to break it, but there is this very nice gap fill that is very transparent and attractive. So again, with the way that the trading volume and trading activity is today, you're at like a 50-50 spot here right now. The volume overall for Tesla for the day is pretty good. But the problem is the rest of the market, the rest of the trading activity has been very, very throttled and quiet. So I would say it all depends on the cues. Let's take a quick look at the NASDAQ here. How are the cues looking right now? Well, they're slowly stepping up, but really, really very light action. And again, they got to have this propellant. They got to really make this jump. I say if the Qs takes out 488, Tesla definitely is trying to take out 250 and perhaps make that run to around 254. So we'll see. All good, JB. Glad to have you in this chat, though, overall. Frank, Barry. So yeah, I'd say everything is dependent right now, Kenny, tied to the Qs. The Qs are trying to make a move, so it's certainly the possibility there. Obviously, if you're trading today's expiry, as we get into the afternoon, theta is going to crush. So it's got to make a move, and if it doesn't, you got to make a decisive decision here. If you're trading on any other expiry, then obviously you have a little bit of time. But if we're counting on it today, I say at best it's like a 50-50 chance. Just because the market activity, volatility, volume, it's very, very quiet. I mean, it's a good day to call it a good day early, you know what I mean, folks? That's exactly kind of where we're at. Microsoft is waking up. They've been a little bit more active today, especially on the bullish side versus bearish side. They've had some struggles here, but yeah, they continue to maintain above the 200-day moving average. This really makes this stock very, very attractive. Even if it's just for an 8-point, jump, that's great. I mean, who wouldn't want to trade to buy in on Friday and have it 8 points higher on Monday? And if that's something of interest, hey, wake up, look at Microsoft, guys and gals. SK, what up, baby? How you doing, brother? Glad to have you in. So yeah, again, this is the third day in a row that I'm covering for Scott. I do love that a lot of familiar names are in here, so I'm always grateful that you folks are here to support. And again, if you happen to like the stream, do me a favor, like the stream. There's a little like button or a thumbs up button. Feel free to click on it. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please feel free to do so. For those that are new and have never watched this before, again, my name is Charles Moon. I am stepping in for the great Scott Bauer, CEO of Prosper Trading Academy. And he took the perfect day to take off. It's very slow, so we'll see what's in store for us. But again, if you folks happen to have any other questions, as Kenny just offered one, I'll be more than happy to answer them. One of the things that we do want to pay attention are the energy stocks. If they could continue to ascend, there have been fast risers, and they have a lot of ground to make up. When we talk about how they've performed this calendar year, it hasn't been great. They've kind of been going wishy-washy back and forth. They had that, early run at the beginning of the year, and they've pretty much died off. They really struggle to hold on to gains, and rightfully so. But, names like EOG, VLO, they're starting to make some really big noise here. And they're still, look at EOG right now on this 5-minute chart. They're still trying to press on the highs. We're right there. They haven't given away gains. So no sign of, these energy stocks unraveling just yet. A lot of people do love the cheaper price assets like Oxy. Well, Oxy is above the 50 simple moving average. Folks, they haven't been above that level since July 22nd. So that's a pretty, prominent achievement today. APA, Apache is right there trying to break through. Halliburton here, of course, got above it yesterday, looking for follow through. They're looking to push up towards 32, probably working their way up towards 34. Fan favorite, FANG. I talked about it today, making that run towards 197, 200. And this is, like I said, when stocks get to above key resistance levels and they don't have anything to slow it down, you tend to see these big ranging zones like this. Look at XOM again today. So, these are the kind of names that you're going to want to pinpoint if you're looking to take short-term trades where they don't have a reason for buyers to kind of step off the gas pedal and take profits, and sellers to find a reason to get in, looking at the pivot levels for a rejection. We want those levels to be far away so that the sellers will hold off from trying to get in, and whatever, uninformed sellers or people that just want to short things just because they're up so much, they're fuel for the fire when they get run over. So that's really important. DVN, I will definitely post up on DVN. They have been in a decent state of recovery as well. They are currently getting jammed up right at the 50 SMA. And this is kind of what I was talking about. You could see that they got shut down at the 20 SMA, and then they got above, held, and it was just an instant fry up. A nice 5% jump straight to that 50 SMA. So same thing, if they could kind of get some clearance above this 42.5 level, it opens the door for them to run up towards this 44, I would say right around 44.30 to 44.50. That's that gap fill in that 100 SMA. So they're looking really, really good. Yeah, Bill, that we're 24 minutes in, so we've definitely discussed the NFP. Really strong jobs numbers. And again, I actually I'm a little surprised. I felt that it was possible that the Strong's job numbers could actually be viewed as a negative, but obviously the market took it as a strong positive. That strike ending is good. It's going to be good for retail, but is it going to be just a one-off, meaning just today and today only, or are we going to see the progressive demand, and maybe the corrective measures for retail Lulu's a standout today, so they're certainly one of the names to certainly keep an eye on. All right, we got some names on the wheel. Meta, I mean, we talk about strength, folks. Meta, AMD making a significant run here at the highs. Let's go. Keep on pushing. Palantir is another standout name. And I'm not going to lie here, folks. I got to be honest with you. I had a great trade setup for CrowdStrike, but the thing is that we're pretty loaded on trades. So I actually was just talking about this verbally. I thought it was a great opportunity when it was trading right around 285. And I wish I would have just pulled the trigger because all of a sudden we'd be up $6, easy peasy lemon squeezy. This was a trade that had pretty much like around 11, 12 points upside, 5 points risk. So, most people feel okay with 2-to-1 reward to risk ratios. Like I said, if I didn't have so many trades on, I would have been all over this one. And again, I've done this lesson where we're looking at the reversal of trend, and you can see the progressive state of higher highs and higher lows. And those pullbacks on these trend channels, once they break, I'll show you right here. Once they break, they usually lead to a nice little run up. So, the stars were aligned. I just didn't want to take on a brand new trade going into Friday. So, folks, we're getting towards the end of this live stream. Why don't I do this? All right. And we are pulling up the wheel of names. 1, 2, 3. Let's see who's going to be our winner for our swag giveaway today. It is, you got to be kidding me. Tom. What up, Tom? All right, my man, Tom C. Do me a favor, send a email to, what is it, Danny? Can you post the email into the chat? I can't sign into the chat right now. I believe it's prosperswag@prospertrading.com, Tom. If you're listening, hope you're listening, okay? There you go. Yeah, my man. Tom and I have a long history. This is a guy that works really hard at his craft, so I'm really happy for him. And again, folks, listen, this is arbitrary. We let the wheel decide who's going to be the winner. So keep tuning in. Odds are going to be in your favor. We're giving away some pretty cool swag. Anything from hats, hoodies. I don't know. I don't think we're doing coffee cups anymore. It's quality swag, right? We're not going to send you a sticker. How about that? So you'll get something pretty cool. There you go. Thank you, Danny. So as I wrap this up, I want to say, first and foremost, thank you all for your support on this live stream. Please continue doing it. We are going to do our best to make sure that you folks are informed on a daily basis. We'll be presenting ideas, thoughts, comments, etc. We're here to help as well. So if you ever have any interest in stocks, or you want to have a breakdown on stocks, or you're looking for trades on stocks, come to this chat and come to this live stream. We'll be more than happy to help you out. Just want to say thank you for that support. And again, don't forget to click that like button and to subscribe. And for everybody else, hopefully we'll get a much more active afternoon. But if not, call it an early day. I just want to say peace and love, everybody. Have yourself a safe and wonderful weekend. For the golfers, hit them straight, and everybody else, take care. I am out of here. Peace and love, everybody. Until next time.